Morning, Daryl. Yeah, we were again on here in the West Coast. It's 2:40 in the morning West Coast time. It's the 25th of October, 2023. Caught your act regarding the pilot and the magic mushrooms crap. I gotta say on this one took me by surprise a couple of days ago when I saw this damn article. Or was it yesterday? I lost track. I was also catching your views. I got no experience concerning about magic mushrooms or anything else like that. I never did the chemical abuse. Alcohol, yeah. But probably in one way that would be considered chemical abuse. No, what I was talking about is the magic mushrooms and that kind of route. I never did never did that. So I tried to listen to some of the news reports when they were talking about this pilot, this Alaskan Air pilot, who, in his own depressed state of mind, almost came close to killing 83 people or more than that. If there was anyone down below and the plane drops on them, that's more. But they were talking about depression, and he was also muttering about a friend of his dying. Daryl, you know better on this one, don't you? That if anybody happens to be going through a hell of a lot of depression and a hell of a lot of grieving, like I know from experience, you can do really stupid things. I haven't. It scares the hell out of me, even if I happen to let myself go and do things like that in the first place. Criminy, I've been dealing with death ever since I can remember. I've been dealing with depression for a hell of a long time, and people just figured I'm just a moody kid. They felt sorry for me, probably try to feel, let's be friends with the moody kid. I mean, he needs to be cheered up like crazy. Some occasions I was actually being able to be a happy kid on some. But you get into an adult stage and you deal with life on life's terms, and you lose people left and right that you care about. Yeah, it really does damage to people's psyche left and right, but this is supposed to be the normal coast of living, so people just kind of forget that portion, that all the emotional investment you made into relationships, now you lost on them because they're no longer alive. You no longer reap the benefit or the dividends concerning about how much you felt about them and how much they felt about you. And when I hear people saying, well, they're in a better place at this point. Well, I'm sorry. For some people who keep holding on to that belief, it may be true for them. For me, it was terrifying. As a 4-year old who wanted to stay home in heaven, it wasn't my time. I had to stay down here on mortal earth and deal with everything else. Maybe I am a bit of a spoiled brat at this point over here. I wanted to stay back in heaven at the age of 4 years old, but I can tell you one thing. I'm still scared to death of the damn transition because I've been through it once before, actually 3 times. It's not fun. It's not fun. For a 4-year old dealing with that kind of stuff all throughout the life, not fun for this kid. Other people can look forward to it, let them have fun with it. I'm still trying to live life and trying to survive it as best as I can. But I can understand a person's pain because I understand depression through my own depression. I understand about losing friends and family and pets and loved ones and anybody else that I actually made an investment in of love with them. And even if they happen to disappear distance wise, I still grieve. Not as badly as I figured out that they're already gone already, and that's it. But if I already felt like I've already been cheated on this one, then my feelings get a little soured at this point. So I'm like, okay, who cares? But if I already made a kind of investment into somebody else that I really cared about, and I really did, I know the depth of that pain. It hurts. It hurts. And there are times when I kept thinking I needed to take care of it one way or another. And sometimes I kept thinking about going to the final act, the final step, the final pathway. Do I dare mention that S word? Because when I was reading into the story and seeing the clips about this Alaskan pilot guy, if this was his excuse, if this was his reasoning, then he's already chosen that pathway. He was going to take the magic mushrooms at this point over here, trying to get a chemical high or chemical escape. Maybe he hadn't been using, or maybe he had, but they hadn't dug deep into this guy's history yet. Maybe he's an alcoholic who's turning into another substance to get past the pain, get past the misery. Okay, I know I'm reaching on this one. My brother made a commitment to himself a long time ago not to go do chemical inducements of any kind, alcoholic or drug. And it scared the hell out of him. Every time he went for surgery, he had to take pain medications under a prescription of a doctor because he knew how much those pain medications would affect him a great deal. Hell, even I tried the pain medications he had. That scared the shit out of me. A little small piece of it damn near wiped me out. So imagine a full tablet or two. I almost got into that level by taking prescription medications at one time just to deal with back issues for a while. This stuff would deaden the nerves so I wouldn't have to feel pain and I still would go on. But the pain and the injury was still there. But I'd be under the influence of prescribed medication. Another reason why I've got a problem with doctors these days. Yeah, they're supposed to help deaden the pain and you're supposed to continue working and living as nothing else has happened. When your body's still telling you, or your brain's still telling you, or maybe both, you're in trouble. You ever heard of medication tramadol? By itself, it's a little potent itself, but when you add Motrin to it, you have the same effect as a Vicodin. Sometimes I had to take the half measures of this combination. Yeah, it made me feel loopy. It made me feel wonderful. It made me feel like I was flying all over the damn place. Lightheaded like crazy. And thinking nothing can harm me. Only because my nerves were already fried right there. I didn't have to feel anything. I felt wonderful. Able to work. As long as I had the medications in me, I can do my job. It didn't matter if my body or my mind was still trying to recover from what the hell happened to me in this one particular place. Try having a tire fall on your face and let's see if you see life or death after that. Let's see how you react to it. And the company shows lack of caring and consideration, so does management staff, except maybe one or two if I was lucky enough. But no, I was. And then an occupational doctor, and I told him about my situation. So the only powerful non-prescription medication he can give me at this time, and maybe at time it was an idea. Maybe at time it was a good idea because I still needed to work during that times. But I didn't like the effects of it afterwards. And I sure as hell didn't like it screwing around with my damn skull. So I had to take time off. I went back and forth on work and they didn't like it. Because I wasn't up to speed. I was limited on the things I could do. Well, injured a damn back, injured a damn neck. Damn near killed me, but, I'm supposed to live through it and I'm supposed to work. The medication itself left me loopy-headed as hell. Now, I said before, I tried my brother's medication once, just to know what the effect of Vicodin would be. He did a quarter piece of a 250 milligram. So I think it's about 125. No, it's about 62. 62 and a half milligrams. Pretty small milligram, I'll tell you that much. Be potent. It still left me loopy-headed as hell for about 3 days. I couldn't deal with it. And this was a time when I ran out of my medication. This was not a good thing for me to go through. That was just dealing with the physical trauma of having a tire fall on your face and damn near kill you. Emotional trauma, different story altogether. I still cannot go to a Walmart, where I used to work at, or any other Walmart for that matter, and shop there because of how I relate to it. I can go to a different Walmart across the Antelope Valley there and try to shop there, but there may be a familiar face or it's still familiar territory. My body, my brain will say, no, you're not going there, and put me through a shutdown. That's just this one thing. And I'm not talking about losing people at this point over here. Because that would also put me through a lot of emotional roller coaster and almost shutdown stages there regarding grieving and mourning. Him dealing with depression. It's not a short-term thing. He's been dealing with it long-term. He had to have been dealing with it long-term. You don't go to pharmaceuticals of the botanical kind without not having some kind of past on this guy. Give me a second here. I got to do a little research. Sorry about the pause there. I was trying to go over your video again just to see if you confirmed something, and you didn't. Well, yeah, I'm nitpicking on this one here, Daryl. It's a good thing that you talk about your experiences because they also need to get some kind of comparisons. But the thing that you didn't go further into about the gentleman here, you just only went by the surface. You didn't go underneath. Deep dive. You realize, Daryl, that if you're going into this kind of stuff, you've got to have been hurting underneath. You had to have been. Just not taking it for willy-dilly. Just, I just want to get the experience and that's about it. No. My own experience is you don't go into this kind of crap unless you're hurting like hell and you don't want to deal with the pain. You don't want to face anything. Now, if it is confirmed that the guy was clinically depressed, there are rules and regulations concerning about how they deal and treat pilots, especially when you're dealing with a federal. You're a licensed pilot. You're subject under rules and regulations of the federal government. Even they would have a problem concerning about somebody intoxicated to flying an airplane. let alone being clinically depressed and wondering if the medication is going to be affecting their judgment, having any kind of physical effect to them that would prevent them from flying a craft. So it's bad enough dealing with the DOT and the truck drivers out there. They have to be careful and they have to deal with what they've got regarding medications. Certain medications out there will cause their bodies to react differently. And some of those doctors, as I discovered a long time ago, usually held back on reporting things to the state and fed. The truck drivers need to be certified. My brother was telling me horror stories about this one a few decades ago, or a couple of decades ago, when he was getting out there on the road and talking to truckers, and he was always talking to truckers, not on CBs, but usually in person. And what he was learning about, sometimes you had to take shortcuts just to stay on the road. It may be affecting your judgment one way, but if you happen to take certain medications that would help you out, you had to be careful about that one. And if you had certain medical conditions, such as diabetes, that had to be constantly monitored, that's dangerous right there too, because truckers hiding diabetes or hiding their medications or anything else like that. And that's breaking state and fed right there. And they had to be careful on those. So I don't know if it's still continuing or not. However, since we are dealing with a pilot, and he is responsible for transporting people and cargo, screw the damn cargo, we're talking about people. And $1 billion aircraft flying through the sky. He has to be on his game. So, for him to freak out like this, it's not just one time he's doing it for something. He's doing it to hide pain. Now, how would I know this? Seeing and talk to too many damn people that have gone through this thing in the first place. And being tempted like crazy going back out there again, dude. There have been times I just don't wanted to go out there and drink. Because I couldn't deal with the pain. I couldn't deal with the loss of my family. Yesterday I was on a therapy call. And while we were talking about family is one of those trigger words. And I was trying to tell my therapist how my brain processed thought. I asked her point blank, have you actually seen a spider web before? You know how icky they are, but you're not seeing something. They're all interconnected. They're all interconnected. And because they are, anything juggling that web, everybody feels it. Anything feels it. I mean, a stiff breeze goes through it and the vibrations are all over the place. In my head, I've got those spider webs. Thought processes. Cross-linking anything and everything. So anything regarding family or friends or family or death or anything that things I talk about, I am activating a trigger one way or another. And it's only a matter of time before the momentum builds up to where I have to release it. And I usually get depressed right afterwards. If I happen to sleep it off, I'm lucky. Well, if I happen to sleep it off and actually get sleep, that's lucky. I hadn't had much sleep in a while. Not in a few hours anyway, or actually in several hours. So I'm not doing so well on myself. When I heard about this guy, I almost bypassed it myself until I had to listen to the story again and hear what the guy was what the guy was telling everybody else, what he was going through. And I kept asking myself, Holy shit. What did this guy go through? Oh, it just took magic mushrooms. About 40 hours later, I can't sleep. I'm having an anxiety attack. And okay, fine. You're going through the chemical hallucination properties right here, and it's screwing around with your damn metabolisms. Even worse. But what made you decide to take this step? What made you decide to take the damn stuff in the first place? You don't take this stuff willy-nilly. You just don't play around with stuff like this. There's a reason why people take these kind of medicinals. Either over the counter, through a doctor, through a drug dispensary, or through somebody else. You don't get these kind of drugs unless you're totally hurting like crazy and you can't stand the pain anymore. You're probably going to be asking me, well, what about you? What are you dealing with it? I'm dealing with it right now. Some pain, I deal with it and I live with it. If I could change the damn thing physically, I probably would. But if I can't, I can't. Then I'm dependent upon pain pills over the counter to deal with the physical pain. But if we're talking about the emotional trauma, it's taken me a hell of a long time just to get myself in front of a damn therapist, let alone see a primary care physician, let alone seeing a primary care physician. And dealing with the physical. They can't treat the psychological. The therapist will let me use him as a sounding board. But there's no actual medication except how to screw around with your damn blood pressure to make you feel better. Doesn't take away the pain. It just hides and masks it. I have to figure out what the hell's going on. I have to constantly talk about it. I have to constantly do audio recordings. I have to constantly do videos. Because I need to see what the hell happened to me. I know I can't change the damn past. There's no way I can. So either I live with the damn pain, or I'm going to let the damn thing overwhelm me. What's my choices? What are my options? What can I do? What can I not do? It's too damn easy for me to walk in about 7 yards, or actually 700 yards from home all the way to a nearby mini mart, which actually has a lot of liquor in it. Small samples, maybe about $2 or $3 a piece. How many of those can I buy? I have to figure out the calculations on that one. Or else I can go for larger ones. I'll go for a beer. What the hell? Can or bottle? And here comes the stigma. People know I don't drink. But I'm going to bring a bottle home? I'm going to bring cans of beer? Of course, they won't know if I happen to dump the stuff in the garbage can in the middle of the night or too damn early in the morning where nobody's watching. But yeah, I could grab a bottle. And then I got to deal with the guys at the liquor store because they know me too damn well. I would have to walk to somewhere else that actually has a liquor store a mile away. I walked all like good. I may have to do DoorDash and pick up something for once. But what happens if somebody over in DoorDash that I constantly deal with notices this kind of change? Then what? How do I deal with that? Now I'm dealing with the emotional stigma at this point. Now I'm dealing with the fear on this one. Now I gotta go into hiding at this point. Nobody must know that I'm doing this stuff, right? So now I got a question, or actually some people probably would have a question. What the hell am I hiding? It's not illegal to drink alcohol. Prohibition's been gone for a century. But being intoxicated out in public, what would I do? What could I do? What should I do? If you had seen a lot of things that people have done while under the influence, sky's the limit on that one. And then how long do I get to be in this kind of intoxicated state? Do I get to enjoy it and say to hell with everything and go nuts on this? Only to fall off the high and start looking for more? How long does it go on? I can drain my account real damn fast. Now I gotta beg, borrow, maybe pilfer, pillage, and plunder for more funds to continue with my stimulation. Of course, I could try going to a doctor and asking for pills. And then what happens? Get my dog killed in the process? Get myself evicted out of here? My stuff tossed in a garbage can? Then what? I'm out there in the street looking for another fix. Who do I blame for that one? I don't blame me. I blame everybody else for not helping me through this, by getting me what I want. I don't care what my brain's going to do. I don't care what my body's going to do. I need something to get rid of this damn pain. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to feel about it. I gotta hide from the damn stuff because I don't want to deal with it. And I sure as hell don't want to deal with him upstairs. Now what do I do? Well, I better find something fast. Oh, too late. Here comes the law enforcement. So now I gotta do something stupid here. Oh, there goes the bracelets. Now they're gonna be putting me in a drunk tank for about 24 hours or less. Let me sober up, then afterwards I'm still stuck in the same damn mess. Now what do I do? I may be sober, but I want more. To get rid of this shit I got inside. Now what do I do? Use people up left and right, use connections, whatever I have, or make new connections and get screwed over. And it starts from there and it continues on until either you're going to be dying in the street somewhere, or most likely you're going to be dead. And if you got nobody else around you, who cares? And if everybody that you love is already gone, who's going to mourn your ass? Sobering thought.